welcome back to Nourishing Maine. I'm Mary Kate Rennie.
And I'm Marge Kilkelly, and we're here at Dragonfly Cove Farm with Katie Thayer. And Katie has taught baking classes and cake and cookie decorating classes here at the farm. And she has her own business now called Thayer's Treats, and makes some of the most delectable delights ever. And we thought it'd be really fun to look at some spring cupcakes for Mother's Day or picnics or parties or anything. And it'll be fun for us to learn how to decorate.
And what I'm intimidated a little bit by is decorating either cakes or cupcakes. And I know you're going to help me with that because I've seen what you can do, and it's going to be really fun. This is a wonderful day to do this.
Yes, this is going to be so much fun, you guys. Should we jump right into it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so we are going to start with putting in our ingredients. I'm going to be weighing our ingredients today so that we get an accurate measurement. You can do recipes where it's cup measurements or weight measurements. I prefer the weight, some people prefer the cups. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is grab a spoon and weigh out our flour.
And these are chocolate cupcakes today.
Yes.
Right?
There we go. That's the flour done. I'll hand that to you.
You got it.
Gonna add some cocoa powder in there.
There's nothing like chocolate.
And when I do my cakes, I definitely prefer to get the darker cocoa powder. It gives you a more moist chocolate cake.
Oh.
The lighter cocoa powder actually can dry out your recipes, which is why it's great for like rolling cookies in, but it's not necessarily as good for making a cookie or a cake.
Fascinating.
Well, there.
We knew we were going to learn all the important things we want to know.
Oh, do we have a teaspoon measure?
Sure.
So we're doing the dry ingredients first
Yep.
on the scale, and then we're going to be doing the wet separate and, of course, combining them together.
Thank you.
We have lots of measuring things here. We sometimes, because we are not bakers, we sometimes are a little sketchy about how we use measuring and kind of eyeball it, but that's the difference between baking and cooking. Is
Absolutely.
That,
We
you
leave it
need
to
to
the
be exact.
professionals, don't
That's
we,
right.
Marge?
That's right.
Baking is chemistry.
That's right.
Everything affects it. Humidity affects it, time of day, the freshness of your ingredients, the temperature of your ingredients. For instance, we have room temperature sour cream and room temperature eggs. That will incorporate better into your cake recipes. If you don't do room temperature, you run the risk of having a clumpy cupcake.
Does it toughen it up as well?
It can toughen it up. If you mix too much, you can actually develop the gluten too much. And when you develop the gluten too much, that's when it toughens it up.
Interesting.
You want to develop your gluten for stuff like breads or even donuts, but you don't want to do that for a cookie or a cake.
Fair.
So you just stirred the flour and the cocoa together to make sure that it mixes, right?
Yes, before I add in any of the
Before you
sugars.
Okay.
Okay, tear. And I like to, when I'm doing my sugars, mix the white sugar and then mix the brown sugar. Make sure it really gets well mixed in there so you don't have a clump of sugar in there somewhere.
And in goes the brown sugar.
And brown sugar in a chocolate cake really helps to bring out that nice chocolate flavor. You need it because of the molasses in it. It cooks a little differently than white sugar. And it helps keep moisture in your cake.
I was just going to say.
A moist cake is just so, especially for cupcakes, I think, because when you're eating them, you're just really, they're so luscious.
We don't want a dry one.
We do not want a dry one. We definitely don't want a dry one.
Okay.
So I can continue to do that if you want to get your wet ingredients, or
yes.
are you feeling
There's
finished?
a couple little lumps in there. Let's take care of those lumps.
I've got you.
And then if I could have that bowl there, I'm going to start.
I'll give it back.
I'll take this. How about
There you go.
And now we've already pre-measured out our water.
It's about a 1/4 cup.
And then we've got room temperature eggs. Now, the eggs were not room temperature when I pulled them out of the fridge. So a little trick for you. Put your eggs into some warm water, not hot, warm, for about 10 minutes, and it brings them up to room temperature.
Didn't know that. That's a great hack. Because you get excited about baking, or you have an event and you need to bring a dozen of something, and they're cold as can be out of the fridge.
Yes, and you don't think about it ahead of time, or you forget. All right, there we go. And
I
if I
think
can
that's
have
the
the whisk.
important part too of having a conversation with someone like you who's been doing this for a long time, is that those are the things that we don't think about, and then you make something and you think, gosh, that's just not as good as it could have been, and I don't know why, and I must have done something wrong, when in fact it's correctable what's been done.
Right. And oftentimes it's as simple as, you know, oh, I should have had this at room temperature.
Right, right.
Sour cream will make it luscious.
Yes, definitely. I'll let you take those,
Yes, we'll get
and
you
then
another.
I'll add the oil.
And we'll get you another spoon. If you need a bigger spoon, or if you want to use that one there.
Actually, I'm just going to use the
Keep
whisk.
whisking.
Whisk away.
And here, I'll give you the lid for that. And we don't need the teaspoon measure anymore.
Great. So there's no butter. Oil is your...
Oil and sour cream are the fat in this. There's no butter in this particular recipe.
Sour cream is such a wonderful thing with chocolate too.
Oh, I know.
Oh, it just makes
And
it
if you don't
pop.
have sour cream, you can substitute a Greek yogurt.
Greek yogurt, yeah. I do that a lot, actually.
Yeah, and the tartness must bring something too.
Well, and if you have a vanilla Greek yogurt, even better.
Huh, wouldn't have thought of that either.
All right, I will hand that to you.
Yes.
We just added wet ingredients to dry, and now we're going to stir it together.
So this isn't a mix that needs to go in the mixer.
No, this one is a great one to do by hand.
Okay.
I have cake recipes that I use in the mixer. There is a time and a place. But
Especially a quantity thing, right? If you, yeah.
right, exactly. Or a texture thing.
Oh,
Now what does it, because it lifts it up when
Because
it's...
it will lift it up. So like, for instance, vanilla cake, I always do in the stand mixer because I reverse cream the butter into the dry ingredients before adding any wet ingredients, and that creates a different type of crumb. This one is a little bit more moist. That one will rise up just a little bit more.
that is so interesting.
So I have to
Okay.
ask, what do you mean by reverse cream?
I mean, you take your dry ingredients
Yeah.
and you put your butter into it and you cream it that way. It will become the texture of like wet sand.
Okay.
And that is called the reverse creaming method, where you're not creaming the butter separately.
Okay.
You're creaming it into your dry ingredients, and it incorporates it into all of the cake.
Okay.
All
What is that?
right.
Oh, you're going for it.
I'm going to scoop this batter out right into this tray, and we'll toss it in the
That
oven.
was so quick.
It's a very great recipe, and it comes together very quickly. Another tip for you. Do not overfill your cake, your cupcake liners. Don't fill them above the halfway point. Just don't. I know it's tempting. You're like, oh look, I have extra, and I don't want to wait to cook another tray. Don't do it. It will make it very difficult to get out of the pan afterwards, and it's going to make it even more difficult for cleanup after that.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And then you have a cupcake that doesn't have a nice top on it for decorating.
And if you're cooking them in a convection oven and you make them too high, they come out looking like mountains, like on an edge, which is the other thing that I learned with my convection oven, is that the wind blowing, it just sort of makes it all just sort of go sideways.
Exactly. There are certain treats or things that you can cook in a convection, and then certain ones that are delicate enough that you don't want to have that
Yep.
wind in there.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to do that for now. There's
All
still
right.
more batter, but
I
this is
will
good.
pop this in the oven.
Overfilling too could dry it out, I'd imagine.
Yes.
Or would you probably wouldn't do this, but if you overfill it, could you slice it at the level to go to frost it, or is that just too much?
Could, but it will probably misshapen your cupcake. Cupcakes are a softer one that if you go to cut it off, it could potentially rip your cupcake instead of just slicing it.
Got it. I know you would never do that. just for a friend. Just
Asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend.
Asking
After
for
you've
a
gone to all
friend.
the trouble, but it's great information.
Right.
Not to overfill, because it is tempting.
It is very tempting.
It is.
So how long will these cook?
These need to cook for about 15 minutes to start. Check them, and then if we need to add more time, we will add more time.
And then we need to chill them. I would
Yes,
think.
absolutely. Chill for a minimum of an hour before you frost it, depending on how warm your kitchen is. If your kitchen is warm, put them in the refrigerator for 10 minutes or so. You don't want to dry them out, and the refrigerator will dry out your cupcakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was going to ask you, how do you test for doneness? Is it a toothpick?
Yes,
Okay.
a toothpick method, or if you have a cake skewer, just choose one of them, poke it down the middle, and see if you have any wetness on there. If it's wet, cook them a little bit longer. But if it's just a little bit of crumbs on there, that's fine. That's what you want.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So these need to come out of the oven and into the fridge, and then we will talk about some frosting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And look at that. Oh, they look so good.
All right, let's stick those in the fridge, and
All right.
I'll grab, if we can grab a bowl, we'll start whipping up a little bit of frosting here. So this is buttercream that I made for you guys today.
Ooh.
A vanilla bean American buttercream.
Wow.
But I'm just gonna give it a quick little stir because it sat in the bowl, and we want it fluffy. We want a nice fluffy one to be able to.
And I remember from your classes that your buttercream whips for a long time.
Yes, so oftentimes we stop whipping our butter way before it needs to be whipped. I would suggest you soften your butter. You don't want it melted, but you want it soft, like you can pinch your finger through it. And you are going to whip that. Put it on a medium-high speed. Put it to the side, walk away. 10 minutes later, come back.
I never would do that.
You want your butter to
Yet.
be completely 100% white. It should look like a cloud. It should double in size, if not triple in size, be completely white. Then and only then do you scrape down your bowl, beat it again for another 2 minutes just to make sure, and then you start to add your powdered sugar and heavy whipping cream. So I put in a lot of powdered sugar so that it actually clumps up on the paddle a little bit. Then I add heavy whipping cream, a tablespoon at a time, till it reaches the consistency that I want, like this right here.
It is like a cloud.
And I added actual vanilla beans to this one.
Ooh. But I do know that when you've done classes here that it's the hardest part for students because, isn't it done yet? Isn't it done yet? It's like, no, it's not done yet.
Exactly, and oftentimes we hurry and rush it.
Yeah.
You don't, baking is an act of love and it should not be rushed.
Love that.
And you always have the most wonderful colors.
Oh yes, and we had friends help pick out the
That's what you
colors
said.
today. I'm very excited about this. So we already have a little bit of white, and now we're going to do the one bowl method.
It's like an artist's palette.
It
is,
is.
totally.
So I prefer to use gel colors anytime I do buttercreams, especially if you're mixing it in by hand. You can use powdered colors, but for mixing in by hand, I prefer to use a gel color.
Ooh, I can already see that beautiful yellow. Wow.
Yes, this is called Sunshine.
And rightly so. And boy, do we need sunshine these days.
Gosh, right? So we're going to start with 2 drops and see how this goes.
Isn't that gorgeous?
And we scoop and smoosh.
Those are both very technical terms, right?
Yes,
Right
absolutely.
down our alley.
Smoosh
right
in
up our
particular, I
alley.
like
Scoop
that.
and smoosh.
Very good.
Just like this. And like, look at that color
With 2
just
drops.
2 drops.
Wow.
So, what do you think? Should we go a little darker, or is this a color that we like for springtime?
Oh, I think that's a very spring daffodil-y kind of color.
All right, so I use just disposable plastic bags. We're going to cut off the top, and then choose a tip. So for this white one, we've got an open star tip. So for this yellow one, I am going to choose this one. It's called a closed star tip. And as you can see, the tips come in instead of standing up straight. And there we go.
That's how much you like?
Yeah, now the tip is out. And now we're going to do the bag trick. Stick it right into a glass, like this. And
Easy
then
peasy.
you
How
have
about
easy
that?
peasy. It doesn't make a mess. And we are not going to helicopter the bags.
Helicopter the bags is something that you do with icing, and you literally spin the bag. Now, if we were to spin this bag
Because
with
it's
the
open at the bottom.
we would have a lovely decoration of frosting all over the kitchen. Yeah, that would not be good.
We did it at the library. All of my students who had taken the royal icing class and were helicoptering the bags, one of them forgot and helicoptered the buttercream bag
Oh, no.
In the library.
in the library.
Ooh.
Oops.
So there we go. That's yellow.
Perfect.
Now we're going to set that aside with the white, and we're going to make another frosting.
And we're using the same bowl.
We're using the same bowl. So when you use the one bowl method, you start with the lightest color and work your way up. So we just did yellow. This time we're going to do pink. Now I've got this hot pink color I love. We're going to add 1 drop. 1 drop to start.
Let me just point out that this pink has been used a lot. I can't imagine why, Katie.
Oh my gosh, really? What's my favorite color? Pink.
That was
But
funny.
look, even 1 drop of pink
Yeah.
It's amazing.
makes this, as soon as I scoop and smoosh it a few times.
It is amazing how just such a small amount of coloring. And I think, you know, when you buy sort of the liquid at the supermarket, it's just such a different thing.
It's like cotton candy pink.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I love this
Or
one.
cupcake.
Cupcake pink.
Cupcake pink.
Pink.
It's like a unicorn pink is what it's like.
Ah,
So that was just 1 drop of coloring, guys.
wow.
And that
It's
takes
amazing.
experience to know how much restraint to have on these colors.
Right.
Yes.
Because it's easy to overdo it. And then you end up with a very, very bright color. You can always add more color.
Exactly.
You cannot take it away. Once you've put it in there, you're
And that's
stuck
not a very
with that.
big quantity either. You
No.
know, so keep that in mind as well.
So we're going to cut off the tip. I'm going to do an open star one on this one. Then we'll do a petal tip for the next one, and I'll show you guys how to make ribbons on your cupcakes.
Can't wait.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
That's been the most fun about doing cooking classes on the farm is that I get to attend.
Right?
Well, you learn
Yes.
so much.
Oh, you do. I mean, it's so much easier.
So guys, do we want turquoise or do we want mint green?
So are we doing like little flowers or does...
Let's do the mint green.
Let's do the mint
I'm
green.
absolutely
Yeah.
obsessed with this mint green right now. And 1
I want
drop
to take your lead.
to start. We might add more, but we're going to do 1 drop to start.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's almost like a Kelly green, actually, isn't it? Oh,
It's called,
Not done smooshing yet.
no, we're not done smooshing it. It's called mint blue, technically.
Oh.
But it's a gorgeous green color.
That seems odd.
I know. That's why I have it with my greens.
Good point.
All of my colors are organized by color.
Ah.
And then here,
Oh, it's beautiful.
1 drop. And we've got this gorgeous green color.
Beautiful.
I love it.
And all the whipping of the butter at the appropriate time or length of time, it's standing up. You know, it's not failing at all, so.
Yes, and we will do this one with the petal tip, and we cut off less on this one because this is a smaller tip. There we go.
And back into the glass it goes.
Back into the glass. This is the easiest way so that you don't make a mess in your kitchen.
Well, and it's because otherwise you're just holding it
Right, and it's not easy to hold it with one
easy.
hand and try to put it in with a spatula in the other hand.
And no waste.
Right, no waste at all.
And no mess, so.
All right.
And we should have some cupcakes ready to decorate.
I think we probably do. Oh, these are gorgeous. They look wonderful. And they're nice and cool,
Perfect.
ready to go. Yeah, they do, don't they? That is so spring. Those are such a nice dark chocolate, too.
Oh, good. So we're gonna do a few different methods of decorating.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start with my pink because it's me. We're going to do a rose. You start in the center and you just nice and evenly go around your cupcake.
Okay.
Just like that, Marge.
Just like that.
Just like that,
Of course.
we have a rose.
That's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
A rose by any other name. And now we're going to add some leaves around this rose. So
jeez.
I am going to take this green and then up, down. Just like kind of wiggle it just a little bit like this. And it creates a nice, pretty
Oh, look at that.
leaf.
Oh, it is so adorable. It's like a leaf. I mean, really.
Exactly. When you do the
Sorry,
up,
I'm easily amused.
when you do the up and down motion with the leaf tip, it creates these gorgeous little ruffles on there
Yeah.
that gives it the appearance of a real leaf. You could do it straight up and down. It's not going to look quite as good as going up, down.
And it probably anchors it there, too.
Yes, it does help to anchor it under there. So there we go for that one.
Wow.
This is a rose
Beautiful.
cupcake, simple, and it uses 2 tips. You could skip the leaves if you don't have a leaf tip.
Yep.
That's perfectly fine. But this is a great one for spring, Mother's Day, you know, all of the fun things. Now, let's show you the difference of a closed star tip and how that's going to make a flower. So it creates a more petaled effect. There's a lot more petals on this one as
Sort of like a
compared
mum almost,
to this
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Neat.
And we're once again going to do some leaves on there because it's great to have a couple different colors. We're going to go up, down, up, down, up, down.
Beautiful.
Ready for the party.
Exactly.
So pretty.
Now I'm going to do one that uses a swirl, the traditional swirl that everybody loves. So the traditional swirl starts like that rose. We're going to go around, and then we're going to go up on top
Oh, of course.
till we reach the center.
Okay.
And when you pull up, make sure that you let go as you pull up, and that way it doesn't like crush in on itself. But you can do it like this, and then if you wanted, you could even add a few kisses to the side to give it some color.
Now, is this where we could put it on a turntable?
Yes, absolutely. This
There's
would
a
be a
turntable
perfect
right
for a
there.
turntable. Let me show you. We'll finish this on a turntable.
Yeah.
Little
Those are so cute.
doodad.
So turntables are super easy to use.
That's a great size, too.
So if I wanted to make these today and I didn't have a turntable, what would I do?
I don't know. I bet there's a Joe way.
I bet there
there's
is.
a Joe way.
Good afternoon. This is the Joe way. Katie Thayer's doing the cupcakes today, and my way is different than hers a little bit. She uses a cupcake turner like this, but if you don't have one like that, you can go in your kitchen. Usually you'll have a Lazy Susan in the kitchen, and you just got to clear it off. And this is the Lazy Susan, so now all I gotta do is when I pipe this, is I can pipe, and keep going around till I have the whole cupcake decorated, and I don't have to move my arm as much as I would if I just tried to hold it steady in my hand and do it. And then seeing as how Marge likes this stuff, we'll build it up a little bit for her. And that's the Joe way. Thank you, and see you next time.
Thanks, Joe.
And here's another one done. Look how
That's
cute that
great.
is.
So cute.
Now, I'm going to show you a fun way to use multiple colors on here.
Okay.
So we're going to do a small, tiny rose on the side, just like this. Now we're going to use this yellow and make some kisses. 1,
I love
2.
the kisses. They're so cute.
Right?
And then we're going to use this leaf tip and make a ribbon.
Oh. So you're using it on its side.
On its side.
Okay.
And you go back and forth to create a ribbon.
Okay.
Isn't that so cool?
That is so
And now I'm
adorable.
going to use this white up, down, up, down.
Oh, that's so pretty.
It is.
And this is a way to get all of those colors on there. The possibilities are endless.
It's like a bouquet.
It is
like a
exactly.
bouquet.
Are we going to give it a try, Marge?
I'm ready for a party.
Oh.
All right.
I'm ready for
what
a cupcake.
So can we try one?
Absolutely. We still have 2 left. Why
All
don't
right.
you guys try them? I'll get edible glitter.
Ooh. You know how I feel about edible glitter.
Yes.
What color are you going to start with?
I'm going to try the pink rose.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to try a white rose. Kind of like that one.
See if I can do this.
I know, right? I love how quiet everybody got.
I know. Suddenly,
They're a little nervous that we. Oh
Guys,
my!
look at those roses.
I made a rose.
And I'm going to lift up. And my
There you go.
my middle is a little overrun, but I love it.
Look.
That's so pretty.
Pretty.
I'm going to try a leaf.
Okay, you do the leaf, and then I'll do a leaf.
Wanna come
I'm
in
going to put
here?
some
Come on in.
edible glitter in here. And then, of
love
course,
glitter.
sprinkles.
Oh, Lord.
Because what would a cupcake be without sprinkles, right?
It would just not be
We
as
could
much
do this all
fun.
day.
We could do this all day.
Which one do I want? I thought I saw a gold one in here.
Ooh,
Aha! I want to use a little bit of gold.
Oh, look at your leaves. Oh,
Yeah,
they
do
look
you want some
lovely. I
leaves?
do. I'll do
Okay.
leaves too. I ended up. Oh, that's not bad.
It's not bad. Try
It's a bigger
again.
leaf.
What am I doing at the end that
Let go and pull out.
let go and pull out? Okay.
Yes, in one fluid motion. Pull. It looks like a leaf.
Looks like a leaf that a caterpillar's been eating.
So
To be perfectly honest.
yeah, he's not finished yet. So how much do you put on a cupcake is what
I mean, you measure with your heart,
Of course.
obviously.
Yes.
Now, these are
Marge is
fun.
going for it.
I'm
She's-
going for the
knows.
glitter. I know the glitter. I'm good.
Glitter. So we've got gold or we've got diamond. Which one do you want to try?
Champagne.
I think I'm going to do this.
The 10 karat gold is my absolute favorite. Another fun thing to do is sprinkles. And this is a whole box of sprinkles. I'm going to do on here, add some gold sprinkles to the white and yellow.
What a difference it
There.
makes.
Look at that glitter.
Look at that.
And then I'm going
Look
to
at
add
those party
some
favors.
metallics
Oh my goodness.
to our rose here, because I feel like the rose needs to be dressed up just a little bit more.
That's beautiful.
And then I'll
Oh,
give
look
it
at that
one
one. Ooh, that's so clever.
like that. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of the 10 karat gold to that rose.
It's just beautiful.
Wow.
And then, of course, let's just spray some of this because
Why not?
The light would catch it, I imagine.
it
Oh,
does. It looks gorgeous
It
when
does.
you walk into your kitchen and it's just sparkling.
Absolutely.
And guys, look at this.
Yes.
A half a dozen cupcakes.
For Mother's Day, birthday parties, picnics.
And it is easy.
Right. It's so much fun. It's a great treat that you can do as an adult, but also with your children.
Yeah.
Incorporate them with it. Let them choose the colors. Let them learn how to pipe on these things.
Mother's Day gift, those piping tips are really the key.
Yes.
Like even only having those 2 or 3, you
Right.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. You
makes
don't
it-
need to buy a
No,
whole set
exactly.
of them. Just
But boy, what
pick
a
out
big
few.
difference.
These are gorgeous.
Well, thank you, Katie.
You're welcome.
This has been
Thank
really
you for
fun.
having
Yeah.
me.
This is great. We needed a good dose of spring, and you have brought it with
Brought
your
it for sure.
energy and with your great colors and
Glitter.
and with the glitter.
And with the glitter.
Thank you so much for joining us on Nourishing Maine here at Dragonfly Cove Farm. I'm Marge Kilkelly,
I'm Mary Kate Rennie.
And I'm Katie Thayer.
and thank you again for joining us on
Nourishing Maine.
Maine.